going on, guys? Your host, Lawson Turner, back with another episode of the Cover 2 podcast. And the first Sunday, the NFL season is over. And let's get right into it. The Steelers, we got beat up. We got steamrolled. Like, I understand the Niners are one of the teams that are contending for a Super Bowl this year, as they were in the NFC Championship game last year. And if Brock Purdy doesn't get hurt, I don't know. Maybe they win against the Eagles last year, but their defense looked just like it did last year. It wasn't anything that we did, like we knew they were going to be a dominant defense, but we just looked awful. Absolutely awful. We got dominated time of possession, 37 and a half minutes to 22. Like, our first drives went punt, pick, punt, punt, punt. Like, it our offense couldn't stay on the field. Kenny Pickett looked like he regressed from the preseason. I understand this is now it's live bullets. The preseason it is what it is. It's starters getting reps against other starters and backups to get a more of a feel to see where you're at. Our offensive line looked the same as last year. You seen the touchdown that Brock Purdy just threw to Brandon Ayuk. Like, everything he threw was just wide ass open. Everything. Everything. It was a great game plan by Kyle Shanahan. Just like, look, right at the top of that route, hit Pat Pete, crossed him up at the top of the route, and it's like everything was open. Everything was just wide open. Brock Purdy made it look so easy. It's a mix of his feel for the game and Kyle Shanahan's gameplay. Like right there, Deontay Johnson falls at the top of the route, pick, and it I don't know if I wasn't expecting this. I was expecting us to, at least put up a fight, and we just came out bad. Like, look right there, Brandon Ayuk. Again, Brandon Ayuk went over 100 yards this game and 2 touchdowns, and it's just it's almost like there's nothing more to say because there really isn't when it comes down to it. Like, early on, we we didn't pick up a first down to the second quarter. Like, it was awful. It was a piss poor performance. Thank God we got Cleveland next Monday night. But like right there, Kenny Pickett wide open, Deontay Johnson, those behind him. I don't know if it was a mistiming thing. I don't. Kenny after the game said it wasn't a timing thing. They just didn't execute, and I don't know. Really early on when we started to pick it up at the end of last year, we got the run game going more. Now I understand the Niners front seven are one of, if not the best in football. But you at least got to get a little bit of the run game going to make them stay honest. But Fred Warner was everywhere. It just, like, right there, Brandon Ayuk just outworked Pat Pete. And Pat Pete had outstanding coverage, but it doesn't matter if Brandon Ayuk's just going to. It was a great ball. It was a great catch. It was great coverage, but sometimes it's just not your day. It flatly wasn't our day. Kenny got sacked 5 times, and we didn't do anything. Like, I was one of those last year that I wanted Matt Canada fired, but the fact that they didn't in the offseason, I was like, okay, glass half full. At least Kenny Pickett now has another year under Matt Canada's system, and it looks the same as last year at the beginning of the year. This is awful. This is flat out awful. Like, wide open Brandon Ayuk again. Like, it's it in watching this game enraged me because it brought back all the feelings of last year in the beginning of the year. Our offense is not complimenting our defense by standing on the field, getting them breaks. It just I need to the TJ Watt. That's the only spotting light of this whole game was that TJ Watt had 3 sacks and tied James Harrison for the franchise record with with 80.5 sacks since he's came into the NFL. So, like, we cannot let this happen again. Like you're watching right now, it's just like I said. Christian McCaffrey controlled the ground. Brock Purdy controlled the game. Even at the end of the first half, when we had a good drive and we scored, first play after half. Well, not the first play, but the first drive after the first half. You're gonna see CMC just gashed us for a long touchdown, and that just blew all of the wind out of our sails. Whatever momentum we got going at the end of the first half was just it's gone, just like that. And I don't know if there are any positives to take from this game. I mean, we threw the ball 46 times. Kenny with 31 completions. I mean, he's accurate. He showed that last year, but there were just times where people were just open and it was either behind them or in front or missed timing. I don't know if that's just more reps. He had a perfect pass rating in the preseason and looked like right there. If he hits Deontay in stride, Deontay walks in for a touchdown. But it was low and behind him, and it's just like I don't know if I don't know how we're gonna look next week. We have the Browns, and Myles Garrett is probably gonna do better than Nick Bosa did this game because the Browns beat the brakes off the Bengals. But like right here, CMC just now it was great hustle by Ayuk and Ray McLeod to still sprint all the way down the field and pick up blocks. It's just this was domination. I was getting texts all day. Kenny Pickett, who the Steelers are bad, but it's just like we just ran into a buzzsaw. Kyle Shanahan is a top 3 coach in the NFL right now, and the Niners have a top 3 roster in the NFL. Now I don't think the rosters are too. Theirs is just outstanding, overwhelmingly better, but we didn't play like it. We it's like we didn't play to our capacity. We didn't come out with the energy. We just like in this play here, Deontay hurt his hamstring. Cam Hayward got hurt with a groin early and missed a big chunk of the game. Which was like every time we would get in a rhythm, something would happen. Like right there, 3rd and 6, driving, and Kenny's under duress, rolls out, fires a high. Like there's just we had 10 rushing attempts. This many, we had 10. Najee had 6 for 31. That's 5-2 a clip. That's good if you get more volume. Jaylen Warren had 3 for 6. The report an hour before the game was that they were going to split carries, but there were no carries to split because we abandoned the run so early. Like I said, Christian McCaffrey snap. He had 152 yards on 22 carries. He also had 17 yards on 3 catches, which it was just a domination, really. That's all it boils down to. We got our asses kicked. We were getting mauled up front. If his name wasn't T.J. Watt, it wasn't getting home. Flatly, it was almost as if and you can see even here down 20, getting the strip sack. TJ gets up on fire, hype. Like, can we get anything going? It's almost as if he was the only one that was prepared to go out there and play. It's just, it's just bad. It was a complete shit show, and that's all there really is to it. I still think we're a contender in the AFC North. The Bengals look like shit. The Ravens did what they did to the Texans. Now, I said the Bengals look bad, but they have Joe Burrow, they have Jamar Chase, they have T. Higgins. Like, they're going to be fine. And I have no faith in the Browns at all. The Deshaun Watson that was in Houston, he's not walking through the door. And he had a horrible interception yesterday. It was just a long handoff to the wrong team. And we saw early when Kenny got in the game, when Kenny got elevated into the starting lineup last year. Early he was just forcing passes. Like right there, I understand you're trailing by 20. You want to at least start pushing the ball down the field a little bit more to whatever happens. This play was just a backbreaker. When I was watching the game, it was just okay, third and long, maybe get him off the field and generate anything, and Brock Purdy scrambles and picks up first down. We ultimately hold him to 3, but it doesn't matter because the game's over. It, it felt the game was over at halftime. At halftime, it felt like if we can get one stop, maybe we'll get back in it, but it was just destruction. It was a great job by the Niners, and we just got to be better. We got to come out with more of a sense of urgency. Like, we look great in the preseason, but it doesn't mean shit if you can't do it in the regular season. It's preseason, and it's going to be take with a grain of salt. I just did not expect us to look so bad. Flatly. We look awful. That is all for this video. I'll be coming out with another longer episode later tonight after the Jets and Bills game, discussing all the games from week 1, thoughts, and going into week 2. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.